Welcome to Kickstarter Radio 102.4. I'm your host, Lipstickpaddy, and this is our first Q&A since our channel got back from the hack. Alright, thanks for the questions. These set of questions come from one of our subscribers, Pepe Hell. Thank you for the questions. Now, these are pretty meaty questions actually. Number one, what should your budget be? Well, the best way of breaking this down is if you're wanting a gateway game or a family game, your budget should be around the $50 to $70 mark. Remember that part of the Kickstarter is paying for the development time of it, so they are a little bit more expensive than retail. So you'll be paying extra. And a lot of people that buy retail games, for example, they go to Etsy and they buy upgrades for them and stuff like this. So when you see these on Kickstarter and they've got like different pledge managers and they've got like all upgraded components, they're doing that because it's popular in the industry, whether it's retail or Kickstarter, to upgrade your components if you feel they're lacking in quality, because there is like this, there are people that just love pimping out their table, as they call it. Other things that you should take in mind, a playmat for the board as well should be in the $25 to $30 range, and it should be double stitched around the outside. Don't expect anything less, and only go for the playmat if one, it's bigger than the board, right? If you want a bigger presence on the table, so you should allocate a budget for that if that is a possibility. And there you go. Remember though that you aren't guaranteed to get these add-ons if it does go to retail, so that's kind of like a Kickstarter exclusive for these kind of family weight and I say gateway games. But an example of that is the mountain part, which has a $45 price point, but if you put all the add-ons on, it jumps to $210. So how should your budget be for these games? Well, whatever you are happy with in regards to the experience you're getting. But if you just want these games, then go for the bottom pledge, I guess. Alright, however, if you're looking for a bigger game, let's say you're looking for a meaty Euro, you're looking upwards of 100 to 150, because it normally has a team of designers and the amount of devs on it is much bigger. Because, for example, a Euro in the board game retail space now can go up to $100, and that's partly because it's got like one designer on, but when you go to Kickstarter there could be a team of designers, so they're in daily meetings all the time, and it's more costs. So those meaty Euros that you get on Kickstarter are because of like the team. It's a much bigger team than you would get in retail, and so you need to kind of budget 100 to 150, and that's without even thinking about pimping it out. That's something to consider. And all these Euros come with expansions and bigger boxes and all this kind of stuff. So yeah, you can be paying upwards of $400 for a meaty Euro when you go for the all-in with the bigger box and stuff like that. So that's pretty expensive also. And the other type of game that you might be coming to Kickstarter for is a campaign game. Campaign games normally have a lot of writing, which means you've got to have an editor to check over all the writing, and they can be very interesting and might have like 20 to 30 hours of content. Normally has a solo mode, and this is kind of something you don't see in the retail space. They are starting around 150, and they could go up to like, 200. If it has an app though, and the story's on the app, you might get it at a lower price of maybe, I'd say, 80 euros. Like something from Lucky Duck Games, what they're doing, the starting pledges are around about the 80, aren't they now? So I think that covers most things you come into Kickstarter for, is campaign games, Euro games, and family weight gateway games. If there's another category out there, peeps, let me know in the comments, and I'll update it in my next Q&A. Alright, but generally speaking, how much should you budget? Double what you pay in retail for the same type of game. But remember, Kickstarter is the Premier League, and retail is the Division 1 when it comes to board games. So a different league altogether, and you get a better experience. All right, what can you expect in terms of how much it's going to cost you? How much it's going to cost you? On top of what you see on the pledge, it's normal now for them to say we're not including VAT, right? So if you're not including VAT, you'll pay VAT when it comes into your country. So be aware of import fees. And of course, you've got shipping fees. Now, when you buy a retail game, they already include this. And so if you look at a retail game and it's like $40, if that was on Kickstarter, it would be something like $20. So in comparison, so you're always going to be paying tax depending on the country you're in, and you're going to be paying the shipping 100%. So you need to think about that. You can $1 pledge though on most of these games, and you can figure out how much it will cost when it comes close to shipping, right? Because if you're living in Mexico like I am, you only know the cost it's going to cost to Mexico when they're closing the pledge manager and it's final. The cost of shipping is final. Then you can see how much it's going to cost you. But before then, it's pretty much guesswork, and a lot of companies have so many different prices for shipping to different countries that you've just got to really wait till then. But yeah, add $1 pledge so you know how much it's going to cost you. What do you get in return? I think most people know that when you pay for a Kickstarter, you get what you pay for. You never pay over the cost. You always get the great quality you get. You get a fantastic playmat with great DPI on the art. You get fantastic card quality. You know, the higher the card quality, the more vibrant the art is, so they look better. You might get sleeve packs that are unique to the Kickstarter. You might get metal coins. You might get upgraded components that are bigger, made of wood. You might get, instead of standees, you'll get acrylic standees, which are much better. You might get minis. So basically, you absolutely get your money's worth, in my opinion. How much time does it take? Kickstarters generally have an estimate, and that's always never gonna be when it comes. Especially if they've got stretch goals or expansions that they reveal during the campaign, that is possibly going to lead to more development time. And if this is a concern, you can either $1 pledge, so you keep getting updated on the Kickstarter or GameFound, or you can just go to GameFound and look at the late pledges, and any of those games that you see on the late pledges, yeah, there's pretty much a pre-order, and you'll get them within the year you order them, most likely. A lot of those, especially if they're close to closing it. So, like for example, if you look at some that are closing the GameFound late pledges in the next couple of months, you'll get them in the summer. And I think that's a really good way of pre-ordering stuff, is just do late pledges, because you won't have this hangover of waiting 4 years for a game that you backed. It's actually a good strategy. When can I expect a game to have a second edition or a reprint? If it's a big game, normally the first campaign is the beta, and a lot of the money that gets raised is for the development to finish the game. And sometimes these companies run at a loss depending on how ambitious they were. That means that when they do a second Kickstarter or GameFound, it's 100% profit that they can get from it instead of dev time. So they really want to come back with that second edition quickly, because they're potentially in the red. So second editions usually come out anywhere between 3 months to a year from when they deliver that first game. They kind of want people to play the game and give them feedback, so that when the second edition comes out, it's got errata fixes, it's got tweaks to the gameplay, cards, art that might get fixed, or something. There might be an issue, and they might do stuff on that second campaign also that like stretch goals that didn't get met on the first campaign, they might bring them out on the second campaign, so they do it that way. But yeah, it's normally within a year of it delivering, the first one, and by that time you've got loads of reviews and stuff, so when you hear people shouting from the hilltops about a game being fantastic, you know it will come to Kickstarter soon, so get preparing to save up for it, because often the second edition has to come with an expansion as you can't just do a reprint, you've got to do something extra, which is the trend. What kind of game is best to get on Kickstarter? Something your playgroup will want to play is the bottom line, isn't it? If your playgroup likes family games, then only shoot for family games. If your group likes Euros, then look at Euros. And if they like campaigns, then look for campaign games on Kickstarter and go with that way. Often people do buy a game that they can't play with the current play group, and then you'll either have to have two different play groups or hope that it has a solo mode and you can play it solo. So yeah, and when you watch a playthrough of a game, you can kind of see how it runs, and you'll know if your playgroup will like it. For example, has it got quick turns? Are the turns really long? Are people bored between turns? Stuff like that. So you can kind of find that out watching a playthrough. But yeah, just go with a game that you can play with your playgroup, or something you can play solo. All right, that rounds out the questions. Like I said, some meaty questions there. This is the first. I'll do a Q&A at the end of every month. So if you put a question on any of my videos, I'll include them in the next Q&A. So get your questions down below. And if you want to add any more information to the questions I've been answering here, please do so. I'm sure Pepe or Rahel will go down in the comments and see what you peeps can add to that answer as well. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the first Q&A on the channel, and I look forward to answering more questions if they come my way. So yeah, thank you so much. This has been Kickstarter Radio 102.4. I've been your host, Lipstickpaddy. Give the video a thumbs up, think about subscribing and all that good stuff, and I'll see you next time. So you take care, stay safe, and bye-bye for now.